Welcome back to another edition of Animal General. Thank you for joining me. I'm your host, Dr. Mike Hutchinson. Today's topic, I'm going to talk about Halloween, one of the favorite holidays of the year for a lot of people. And being an ex-honorary judge to some of the pet costume contests, I know a lot of you are looking forward to this holiday. So let's start about the costumes. Some dogs, some animals don't want to have a costume on. And I say to those people, don't force them. Don't put a costume on an animal that doesn't like it, because it just isn't a good thing to do. Don't put masks on them. Masks aren't good. It could inhibit their vision. It could maybe cause other problems with their senses that we don't want to happen. It can be a scary time for some pets. So let's be real careful if we're going to put a costume on our pet. One of my favorite costumes that I ever saw was a reverse Dalmatian. It was a black lab with white spots on it, and I thought that was pretty unique. That dog actually won the contest that year. I wasn't a judge at that one, but it was a pretty neat costume, very simple, very straightforward, a reverse Dalmatian. So there's a lot of things we can do without big restricting costumes. Be careful with those costumes. Very important tip. Speaking of costumes, what about all the costumes coming to the door? If your pet isn't safe with those, some pets get very nervous. I can put a mask on my face, come out of a door, and scare one of my dogs that'll start barking and growling. Now think about that. I walk into the bedroom, I come out with a mask on, my own dog's barking and growling because I have a mask on. So think what that means with kids coming up to the door to do some trick-or-treating. If your pet is like that and is not curious about the kids and wagging its tail and having fun with you, please put that pet away, put it into a room, maybe put some music on, or even crate your pet if it's better for the pet so that it doesn't cause danger or also doesn't get away, because a lot of pets escape on Halloween night. And unfortunately, there's some people out there, every year we hear about black cats getting harmed and sometimes other animals getting harmed. We don't want our pets to get out the door on Halloween night. I just don't think it's a good idea. So please put them away. And just as an aside, make sure your pets do have good ID, maybe even a microchip if possible, just in case they get away. I always think that's good advice. Now, I think everybody knows common sense. We don't want our pets to have candy, particularly the chocolate, but even a lollipop, a stick can get caught in their throat. It can cause an obstruction in a cat. It has done that. I've seen those in my career. So you want to be careful with not just chocolate, but those candies too. Gums, things that can contain xylitol, a sugar-free sweetener that's good for our teeth, can kill our dog. So we don't want them to get into anything like that. I recommend not giving that as a gift if you have pets. And if your kids come home with their bags, go through them, put them in a very safe place so that they don't get into trouble. And remember, in your first aid kit, you should always have hydrogen peroxide just in case your dog, like one of mine did one year, gets into the chocolate. When you call us, we're going to tell you to induce vomiting, and that hydrogen peroxide will be a great thing to have on hand because you don't want to have to run to the store if that happens. Another thing that we want to think about are the pumpkins. Now, some people put live candles in the pumpkin. That's okay. And some people use those lights. That's probably a little bit better. But a pumpkin in general, if a dog eats a pumpkin, it's not that dangerous unless it's rotten. And if it's rotten, we don't want them to ingest it because then they can get a fungal infection. They can get very sick. But in general, we want to think about pumpkin safety because we don't want our pets getting into it. It is a food, has a lot of fiber in it. You're probably going to see some trails from that dog if he does get into it. But I would just be careful if you have a pumpkin with your pets because they might like that. And again, the candles can cause trouble. A lot of times when trick-or-treaters go out, parents like to use glow sticks. Glow sticks now are non-toxic to dogs, but they do have an irritant in them that can cause dogs to salivate profusely if they bite them and even act strangely. So please keep the glow sticks away from your dogs if at all possible. One more thing. Remember, the trick-or-treaters are there to have fun and you're there to enjoy that with them. Please protect your dogs from those trick-or-treaters and vice versa, those trick-or-treaters from your dog. That's your responsibility. Be very careful. Enjoy the holiday. If you go to a costume contest, good luck. And if you just want to take a picture with your pet, that's good advice. Put a costume on, take a few pictures, take the costume off. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, don't just live and let live, but live and help live.